Hello, Pranita Fanboy here, and today I'm going to review Gosei Sentai Dairanger. It's written as Gosei Sentai Dairanger, but I'm going to see the way it's pronounced. And I'm also going to compare it with the second season of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Now, this is the 17th Super Sentai series from 1994, 1993, and it consists of 50 episodes and a movie. Now, the first episode starts by showing this small boy who was playing with a JoJo and he was singing. And soon it's revealed that the small boy is really a monster in disguise. His name is Baron String. Of course, in Power Rangers, he was Pipe Brain. And he was used in the episode Missing Green, where Jason was trying to prevent his friends from losing their powers, just like he failed in doing the same for Tommy. Yes. Now, shortly we meet a man named Ryu, and he works at a restaurant that sells something called Kayosa, or however it's pronounced. Yes. And when he went out to do something, he was being chased by. Oh no, I think he saw the troubles going around, and then there came this man who were chasing him. Oh no, not chasing him, but well, eventually he got knocked down and ended up in some kind of place he never been before. And as he got up, he tried to escape, but the men who came after him started to pursue him, and he was brought back to where they brought him. And when Ryu asked, well, one of them men, he was the oldest, like it could be 40 or something. His name is, oh yes, Tokikaku. And well, he explained to Ryo, about this evil group called the Goma, and about there's these two energies, one called Ryoshioku, and the other one called uh, Shirikyoku. And yes, two opposite forces that go at war with one another. Now, and let's see. Oh yes, and the other four men who look around the same age as Rio, well, they introduce themselves, and their names are Shoji, Taiko, and Kasu. And they were told that they have one more member to recruit. And then we meet this woman who was walking around, and she was being pursued by these four men. And yes, of course, she thought that they were gonna cause her trouble, and she used her Shiryoku on them. Of course, then came this group of other people on bicycles, and they turned into the foot soldiers of the series, known as Kotopodoros. Now, in Power Rangers, the Kotopodoros were not used. Instead, the said sea bodies took their place. Now, the woman's name is Ring, and she was, I think, brought back to the headquarters of, and was briefed about what's going on, and then they went back to the city, and then came the Baron's Ring, and that's when they started to have the first battle, and the five young people, they started to henshin. Oh, and they had given these devices called Aura Changers, which means Aura Changer, and the henshin sequence goes like this. Yeah, Ora Jinja Gyuchi, something like that. I forgot, but no, now I remember it was Denshida Ora Jinja. Well, something like that. Yes. But anyway, now Ryu's Henshin form is a red costume with red gloves, red boots, a white vest, a red helmet with a black visor and a silver mouthpiece, and some kind of golden decoration on top of the helmet that's supposed to resemble some kind of dragon. And he became Dairenja. And, see, oh yes, Shoji, his ancient form is a blue costume with a blue gloves, blue boots, a blue helmet with a black visor, a silver mouthpiece. Oh yeah, it had a white vest, and the top of the helmet has a kind of golden decoration that was supposed to resemble a Pegasus. Then Daigo, he became. Oh, you forgot that. Shoji, he became Dairenja. Now, Daigo, his ancient form is a green costume with green gloves, green boots, a white vest. Uh, oh, yes, a green helmet with a black visor, a silver mouthpiece, and the top of his helmet has some kind of gold decoration that supposed resemble the face of a Chinese guardian lion. And yes, he became Shichirenja. Uh, Kazu, he his ancient form is a yellow costume with yellow gloves, yellow boots, a white vest, a yellow helmet with a black visor, a silver mouthpiece, and the top of his helmet had a golden decoration that's supposed to resemble a kirin or killing, however you want to say it, which is some kind of animal from Chinese mythology. You can look that up. Rin, her ancient form is a pink costume with pink gloves, pink boots, a white vest, and a white skirt, or a pink helmet with a black visor, a silver mouthpiece, and the top of her helmet had a golden decoration that was supposed to resemble the face of a, not resemble a Feng Wan, which is supposed to be some kind of Chinese phoenix. You can look that up as well. And together the five are Gosei Sentai Dairanger, which means 5 Squadron Dairanger. And yes, they fought Baron Ring, and he was, well, before he could be defeated completely, he grabbed some kind of bomb thing and threw it, and he became gigantic. I forgot to mention that the monsters of the series are called Koma Minjins or Koma Gaijins. You can also say Koma Monster as well, you know. But yes, he became gigantic. And in the Power Rangers, it was Lord Zed who threw the growth bomb down on Earth so his monsters can grow. Yes. And then Ryu, he called on his own Mega called Ryusoe, and which is supposed to be some kind of it looked like a red Chinese dragon, and it yes, and Ryu he went up and rode on Suyu, and then also Ryuseo has a warrior form known as Ryu Ukin. And in Power Rangers, it was Red Dragon Sword in warrior mode. And the episode, oh, I forgot to mention that, well, for the Dairangers and their counterparts, well, let's see, oh yes, Ryu's counterpart is Jason the Rocky. Daigo's counterpart is Zack, later Adam. Uh, Shoji's counterpart is Billy. Uh, oh yes, Gasu's counterpart is Trini, later Aisha, and Ring's counterpart is Kimberly. Another thing is that that well the five main Dairanger suits were not used in Power Rangers at all. Of course, they will later be used in an episode of Power Rangers Super Mega Force. Well, don't worry about that when I get to that series. So, let's see. Now, episode 2 picks up where episode 1 left off, with Bingen Ryu Suji so to fight the yes, parents ring and defeated it. And yes, the Dairenja would still live upon their normal lives and will still fight, when they're needed. And we also learn about the civilian lives as well. Now, I already mentioned that for Rio, he worked at a restaurant where they make kyosa. Now, Joji, he he's a trained fighter. He practices fighting a lot. So yeah. Oh yes. Daigo, he works as a pet shop. And he loves animals. Kazu, he works at a beauty salon, and Ring, she is a college student. Or as in Japan, Daikichi. Now, in episode 2, the Dairanger tries to deal with a burst monster. Oh, another thing is we also meet 3 of the main villains of the series. They are part of Koma, and they are a man named Shadamu, a woman named Gara, and a man named Saidosu. And they were kind of like a sort of what's her name? Ursa and Nun from the first 2 Superman movies. The outfits even are the same color. Of course, they don't have the same powers as the 3 Kryptonian criminals, but they still have powers. But anyway, well, in that episode, well, the Dairanger should learn more about, or maybe it was episode 3, but yes, the Dairanger, they defeated the first monster, and then we get to episode 3, where where the Dairanger is going to go on against a key monster called Keymaster, and he, well, he was using keys to steal children's souls. Yes, and put them in puppets, I think. Or he also used puppets to his bidding. But anyway, in the same episode, the Dairanger started to learn more about, the past, about, with the coma, and, where they came from. And what happened was that 6,000 years ago, only 6,000 years before 1993, well, there was 2 tribes, the Dai tribe or Daisoku, and the Koma tribe or Komosoku. Now, the Daisoku, they lived in peace and harmony for many years, but then the Koma, they arrive and start to attack, and there was a war that's been going on for many years, and then suddenly the Dai civilization was destroyed and ruins. Oh, I forgot to mention that it took place in the land we now call China. Oh, and also Ring, she is from China, and yes, her connection to the Dai is so good, it's very special then. Anyway, Kaku, he told the Dairenja to meditate because he wanted to show them something. And, well, see. I think it was in episode 4. Yes, and, no, I think it was the same episode. Yes, and, well, Goku and the Dairanger, they enter this cave. I mean, not physically because their minds are still in Japan, but their consciousness are in China. And, well, in their conscious forms, they found this old temple, and there they saw a picture of Ryusuye. However, turns out that they found some more pictures as well of Chi Chi, Thelma, well, Chinese cartoon lion, a Pegasus, a Kirin, and a Feng Wan, which suggests that Ryu Suje is not the only Kitenchu. And oh yes, and the makers of the series are called Kitenchus, which means I think star piece or something like that. But then we get to episode 4, and yes, still with the key monster, and then key gesture, yes, that's what we called, and see, oh yes, well, later in the episode there was a scene where Rin physically ended up in China, in the area where the Dai civilization used to be. And yes, and oh yes, Ryu Suji was trying to tell her about the 4 other guardian beasts, or 4 other Kitenju. And then Rinchi, oh yes, her friends came to pick her up, and they returned to Japan. And then yes, oh, and then they were given these things called Rava no Tamu. I just call them the Ravas. They're these kind of like small orbs. Oh, I forgot to mention that the Goma, when they first appeared, these giant orbs were floated around the sky in an area in the city. Anyway, yes, as for the Rara balls, they were used to summon the other 4 Kitenchus. And we have the Chichi Kitenchu, Dema Kitenchu. The Chichi Kitenchu resembles a Chinese guardian lion. Dema Kitenchu resembles a Pegasus. The Kirin Kitenchu resembles a Kirin, and the old Kitenchu resembles a Feng Wan. And with Peking Ryusuche, well, the 4 animal Kitenchus, they form some kind of a square, and we became went inside, and it became the over the 5 became the let's see, oh yes, Kiden, no, that Duken Kiden or something like that. Yes, and I forgot what's called on Power Rangers, but maybe I'll know when I started watching season 2. Let's see now. Yes, and defeated that Key Jester. Then we get to episode 5, where let's see. Yeah. Oh yes, they were dealing with a monster called a lipstick monster called Lipstick Songstress, and yes, she was oh no, that was mentioned. I think that was from episode 4 to 5, but yeah, with but anyway, yes, where this young woman was trying to befriend Rain, but well, as Rain also like to be her friend, uh, she didn't feel it possible because of her responsibilities as a Dairenja. Anyway, the Dairenja is still with a lifted songstress, and yeah, she was defeated. Then we came to episode 7, where we meet a let's see. Oh yes, just gonna chain chains up priest who's another common monster, and he he had a subordinate name called Shoryu, and Goku knows something about him, and yes, and to win about with a Dairanger, well, as Shoryu was starting to about to kill Ryu, well, Goku told him that Ryu's his son, or as in Japan, Musuke. And episode 8 pick up where episode 7 left off, and see yes, and they talk. You see in episode 7, Ryu and Joko. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that Ryu has a younger sister or Imoto named Joko. She appeared in only 3 episodes with no explanation what happened after her final appearance. But anyway, yes, episode 8, well, both Ryu and Shuryu, they talk, and then later, later in the episode, as the Chainsaw Priest was fighting the Dairenja, Shurishi came in, helped him out, but of course, the priest, he attacked Shiroju, and it was fatal, but before he died, he told the Dairangers about this power that the Ruraples have, and then the spirits of Shuri's old team, who he did kill, many years ago back in the Great War, they forgave him, and he, well, his body disappeared, and then, oh no, now I remember something. No, I think that was the same episode, but well, the variables were used to give the no, I think it was an episode. Well, whatever episode it was, the variables were used to help combine the 5 Kitenjus to become, or Katai, the Daireno. And Power Rangers, it was called the Thunder Megazord. Oh, and also the Kitenjus were called the Thunder Swords and Power Rangers. Now, there is this movie that takes place between episode 8 and 9, where this playing card monster was turning kids into playing cards just for his amusement, but then was about to kill him. But the Dairanger, they put a stop to it and it saved the day. So it was just like any other episode, but with a few extra minutes. Now, episode 9, where we where the Dairenja they started to fight this mirror monster, and then they defeated it, and turns out that inside the mirror monster was some kind of was this woman whose outfit resembled a peacock, and her name is Kujaku. And well, the Dairanger, well, in the next episode, the Dairanger were told about her past, that she was a kind and loving woman who cared for people, but because of the many years that she was trapped inside the mirror monster, well, her heart became, well, not what it used to be. It started to be full of revenge, and will start to coma, regardless of what happens to other people, especially the ones that has nothing to do with her. And let's see, and we learned that it was Gara who trapped Kujaku and the what's this what anyway eventually Kujaku left to bother to think about things, and then and also I think anyway a few episodes afterwards we met this old man named Gohan, and when the Dairenja, well, I think was which one, but when Rin heard the description, she went to her apartment, or as in Japan, mansion, and well, the other Dairenja followed her. Then there, Gohan was there, and it's revealed that Gohan is Rin's great uncle from China, and Rin refers to him as Oji-chan. I mean Oji-san. Yes, and there's so that he came here to help out with the arrangement with something, and let's see. Yeah. Oh, turns out that he also said that he has a fiance, and well, Rin expected that it's supposed to be an old woman, around Gohan's age, but turns out that his fiance is 20 years old, almost the same age as Rin, and Rin was, shocked to hear that. Let's see. Oh yes, there's another reason why Gohan came. You see, what happened was that his fiance was eaten by a Gobble monster named Kabuki Novice. I forgot what he was called on Power Rangers, but yes, in Power Rangers, Kabuki Novice was the alien that was traveling the universe, and Lord Zed wanted, for his evil schemes. But anyway, back to Dairanger. Well, Kabuki, even though he ate Gohan's fiance, she is still alive because, well, Kabuki Novice fell in love with a woman. So, yeah. But then Kabuki Novice brought out, the woman. Her name is Shogyu. And that was the next episode, and yes, and then she was being titled of something, and then the coma, they saw what's going on, and they noticed that Jokyo had some kind of a sword with her, and they anyway eventually the Dairenja saved her and defeated Kabuki Novice. And at the end of the episode, well, both Gohan and Jokyu put the sword inside a boulder so it can be pulled out by the next Dairenja. And see, think a few episodes later, we meet a boy named Go, and he started to hear a voice telling him to go somewhere. And one of the first places he went to, well, first of all, he was on his skateboard, being, but also, well, anyway, eventually he met Rain, and when he first saw her, he had a he immediately developed a crush on her, and went through her and said that he's going to be her little brother or Ototo, and that he's going to live with her. And Ring, she didn't, no, she didn't want that, or at least, she didn't believe that. Then, at night, the, oh yes, he was, Go went to the boulder where the sword was in, and he found the source of the voice he was hearing, and it was the sword, and the sword told Go to pull him out, and he did, and he started to, and he was, oh no, before that happened, Go, he went to Rin's mansion and took something that was left by Gohan, which was another overchange of. And then, yeah, then went to the boulder and he pulled the sword out and he used the orange changer to henshin, and he became the sixth Dairenja, Kiba and his costume, his henshin form is a white costume with white gloves, white boots. Oh yeah, some kind of block armor with golden shoulder pads and a golden symbol in the chest area, and a white helmet with a black visor and a silver mouthpiece. Oh, and the top of the helmet has a kind of gold decoration that's supposed to resemble the face of a tiger. Yes, and he became Giborinja, and that makes his counterpart in Power Rangers Tommy, the White Ranger. Or at least when he became the White Ranger, after losing his Green Ranger powers. Yes, and also whenever Go henshin into Giborinja, he would will become adult size. And oh yes, and the name of the sword in Dairenja, well, first thing, the top of the sword has the handle has the face of the head of a tiger, a white tiger that is, and he's called Ryugen Shinken, and in Power Rangers he was called Saba. And then the next day, Kiba he helped out the Dairenja and started to oh, and also Ryoken Shinken, he would speak for him, so nobody would know that it's a kid who is in the costume. No, thing in the next episode, all of Ghost belongings were put into Rin's mansion, and they there was these older people who were living with Go as his grandparents, and they were the one, but they took him in after his mother left, and well, Go he believed that he will see his mother again someday, and also throughout the series, when something involves Go, he would have these memories of his mother writing him back when he was 3 years old, and he didn't understand why she would do that. But anyway, yes, then came a story arc where there would be a new Kitenshin that would be born. Uh, Also, we meet a new villain named Akumaru, who is also a child. Oh, and I got to mention that there was an episode that introduced more Kuma minions, all these Kuma people, and they were led by this man named oh Goma Jugosei. And if you were to have a counterpart of Power Rangers, then it would be Lord Zed. Of course, Lord Zed was not in Dairenja. He was an American invention for the series. And also, we start to see where they reside, which was supposed to be some kind of floating upside down pyramid with an eye on it. And there was the floating orbs that I mentioned earlier. Yes, they're down there. Let's see. Back to the new Kidenju. Well, the new was finally born, and it was called One Tiger. And Power Rangers, it was the White Tiger Sword. Yes, and Keeper Ranger used it to help the Dairenja out. And One Tiger also has a warrior form called the what I think was called One Tiger Pigeon or something like that. And see. Oh, and also with along with the see with the Wo, Chi Chi, Dema, and Kirin Kidenjus, they form or katai into the Kibatayo. And Power Rangers, it was the Tiger Megazord. And let's see, oh yes, they defeated the remaining of the three sisters. These were like autogrown monsters. And I think Power Rangers called the Scarlet Sentinel. But anyway, see, the now at the end of that episode, Ren she decided to let Go stay with her, and he was happy about it. But he she made him make a promise. I forgot to mention that well before Go did something to her that well I'm not gonna say what it is, but it was not proper to do to anybody. And well, Go promised not to do what he did before, but he did something else that wasn't proper, but he didn't make a promise not to do that. Yes. Also, there was a scene where Go was abusing his powers. But let's see. Well, anyway, of course, and one of the things he did. Well, I'm not gonna say what it is, but if that footage was used in Power Rangers, then the show would have been pulled off the air immediately in American television. Probably not a big deal in Japan, but in America back in the 90s, yes, the show would be in really big trouble if it did that. But anyway, see, there was an episode we where we meet this man named Cameo. And the interesting thing is that Cameo is played by the same actor who played visual writer Yoro Aru from Shouju Sentai Gentleman. Oh, and I forgot to mention that Kujaku, she also played the Wuthering Boma um, Kriana from Gosei Sentai Dairanger. And I knew she looked familiar once I did some research. Oh, and speaking of Kujaku, I forgot to mention that there was an episode where the she returned and started to, well, seek revenge on Tokoma. And we learned that Gara has a personal vendetta against Kujaku. And I've said that Kujaku doesn't remember, what it is she did to her. And then Gara, she book was supposed to be a skin. Turns out that on her real skin there was a scar. And nothing much was said about it. Now let's see. Back and let's see. Well, anyway, yeah, in that same episode, well, Kujaku, she did got hurt, but well, there was a little girl who helped her out, and after seeing such kindness from the little girl, Kujaku decided to not live her life for revenge anymore, and tries to become what she once was. And see, yeah, and then well, Kujaku went somewhere, and then a feather fell from her, and wondering why it's happening. And now another episode I forgot to mention that there was these three Goman monsters known as the Goman Sanpaka, which means Goman Three Stooges, and they're like the leftovers or rejects of the Koma. Yes, and they are a motorcycle monster named Kamikaze, a pink female telephone monster, and a tombstone monster. The tombstone monster was the only one out of the three to be used in Power Rangers. Now let's see. In that episode, well, they challenged the Dairenja to a soccer game, or I guess football, as they call it. Since the rest of the world calls it football, while in the United States it's called soccer. See, and of course, the Dairenja defeated them all, even in giant form. Of course, they still survive and go and finish up. Now we get to let's see. Oh, well, there was this. Well, Kujaku returned again, and yeah, she wanted to do her part to help out. Well, trying to figure out what's happening to her, and we learned that there's well, there's something that so now she's dying, but she knows of a this thing called the secret peacock tear, which is supposed to help cure any ailments. Yes. Now let's see. Oh, and now we get another episode with Sanpakas, and this time they challenge the Dairenja to a baseball game, or as in Japan, Beisaburo. And see. Oh yes, the Dairenja won and defeated them, and it was personal for um, Shoji because, well, Kamikaze, he made some kind of lie so he could win the game. But anyway, just like in the previous appearance, they survive and walk around and vanishes. Now, then we get to an episode where Gohan returned. Oh, I forgot to mention that in the episode where Gohan first appeared, well, he invented this kind of round weapon called the Dairenja, and it's kind of like the chakra from Cena. And the order for Dairenja has the run as well. And let's see, now there was an episode where oh yes, well we learned that Akumaru was keeping Go's mother or Okasan in prison the whole time. And let's see, yes, eventually Go finally met up with her, but for a few moments. But Akuma told Go that he can be with her as long as he joins the coma. But Go refused and tried um, tried to free his mother. But of course, Akumaru he wouldn't let Go succeed and sent her away again, which made Go upset. Now we have another episode where well Kameo, well he found this jewel and eventually he met up with Kazu, who was selling I forgot what he was selling. Maybe it was ramen, but well Kazu told Kameo the story about when he first left home and arrived in the city, and he met this old woman or Obasan who helped him out, and so as a way to repay her kindness, he would help out, with her selling once in a while. And Kameo cried because, to him that was a beautiful story. And then in the same episode, there appeared to be a well, I don't know, it was kind of like a tenchu, but it was still a threat. And this was when well, a pachinko monster was causing trouble, and oh no, not yet, not yet. Oh, hold on a moment. All right, I'm back. Now, yes, about the episode where Kameo found the jewel. Well, in that same episode, we well, oh yes, Gohan had returned because he was making a special new weapon for the Dairenja called oh yes, Kyuryu Bazooka. And Power Rangers, it was called the Power Cannon. And then, well, when Gohan said a special jewel was needed to give it a full power, Kazu he remembered the jewel that Kameo had. And then, of course, around the same time, the jewel turns out to be magic and then turns Kameo into a turtle, or as in Japan, Kame. And well, Kazu he was going around looking for Kameo so he can get the jewel and then let's see. Now in the next episode, well Kazu he first of all Kameo threw away the jewel because he realized what it was doing to him, but it came back to him and is being chased by it. And Kazu, he was captured by the Goma. And let's see, oh yes, well, as Kameo was still running away from the Yule, Kaku and Rain got up with him, and Kaku told Kameo something about his past, and what happened was that during that battle between the Dai and the Goma, well, there was this other Kidenju named Daimugen who loved peace and hated war. And since then, Daimugen has been asleep for once every few thousand years with no memory of who he is. And of course, it turns out that Kameo was actually Daimugen in human form. Of course, Kameo refused to believe it because he strongly believed that he is human. But and then after hearing what happened to Kazu, well, Kameo decided to go and help out. And yes, Kazu, he was freed and was no longer under the influence of this demon mask that he was forced to wear. And Kameo turned into this giant turtle-like Gitenshu called Daimugen. And Power Rangers, he was called Thor the Carrier Sword. And Daimugen also has a warrior form called Pinshin Daimugen, and yeah, he can open himself up to put any of the mechas inside him. And eventually, when the 5-man Kitenchu along with Daimugen are brought together, they formed the Juken Kiden. And Power Rangers, it was the Ultra Thunder Sword. And it defeated a monster of that story arc. Now, I forgot to mention that for Akumaru, well, in the storyline, that for the introduction of Kibarenja and of course One Taiga, at the end of that story arc, Akumaru got killed. Now, in another episode, we meet a man named Matoba Jin, who has been killing a lot of skilled martial arts masters. And the reason is because, well, during a practice with his old sensei, well, he was falling down the cliff, and he, as much as he tried to get up, his sensei said there's no possible way and he must fall to his doom. But Jin, he refused to give up, and so his sensei cut off his, I think it was his left hand. He fell down, but survived, and his left hand was replaced by a mechanical hand, which was bigger. And eventually he wanted to fight Ryo. Of course, and when doing a Goma attack, well, Shen, he saved Ryo, but only because he wanted to kill Ryo himself. And then, see. Well, Ryo had a hard time fighting Jin, but he forced himself to train, and turns out that he was training with some kind of thing he was wearing, so he can fight Jin on an equal level. And Jin was defeated, but he was still alive. and this woman who he known for years. Well, even though yeah, she's the daughter of his old sensei. At the end, he decided to kill her, and he became he was given a new armor by Shadamu, and well, yeah, Shadamu was looking forward to Jin working for him. However, Jin used his new abilities to attack Shadamu, saying that he refused to work for anybody and left. See, we get to an episode where oh yes, with this monster who was kidnapping children around 9 or 10 year old, and then in that episode, well, Go he unhinged Shen unwillingly, and well, now that they actually know that Go was keep Ranger the whole time, and he was captured, and since he was still a child, he was captured by the monster and brought where all the other kids were sent to. And back at headquarters, the Dairenja were surprised that Go was keep Ranger the whole time. And Biyuki Shinken, he apologized for that deceit, and everybody was surprised that the sword can talk. And then came the image of Ghost Okasan, and she was using a bit of her Shiryugi she had left, so she can yes tell the Dairenja about what happened with Go, and well, it turns out that Go is the son of both a Dai woman and a Goma man, which means that Go is half Goma. And well, Okasan she branded Go with a tiger symbol on his arm, so the Goma blood can be kept at bay. However, the symbol is losing its effect, and if Go doesn't reunite with his mother by his 10th birthday or 10th Tenjobi, then he'll become a Goma forever. And so the Dairangers went, and it turns out that all the kids who were captured were Adokori taking for something. And then at the Dairanger they saved the kids, and also long ago, and defeated the monster, and everybody was safe. And also Rin asked Go when is his Danjobi, and Go said that he doesn't know since his mother never told him, which means that unless they could find out when Go was born, then he could become a Goma at any moment before if they don't figure out when his Danjobi is soon and get him to reunite with his mother in time. Now, see, we get an episode where well, a new Gatenji appeared, only it wasn't an ally this time around, but it wasn't an ally to Tokoma either. You see, this was like a green, yes, a green Chinese dragon, and his name is Tajin Ryu. And Power Rangers, he was called Serpentera, and he was spotted by. He was the sword of Lord Zed. See, now, according to Gaku, uh, Taijin Ryu doesn't care about any of the sides as long he decided to what Taijin Ryu does is put an end to whatever it sees as a threat to the order of things. You know, and so Goku secretly he used Yoryushiki to enter the Kuma Palace and to talk to Goma Jugose to have a ceasefire, but Goma Jugose wouldn't listen because he's still on insists on fighting the Dairenja. But later the episode, as yes, Taijin Ryu was started attacking everything. That also included the Goma Palace and Goma Yugose agreed to the ceasefire, and Taijin Ryu left. Now the oh, I forgot to mention that at the end of the episode, with the kids in the quarry, well, it ended with Gomaji Gosei fishing out Akumaru from hell. Oh, I forgot to mention that Akumaru is also the son of Shadamu. Now the episodes later, yes, Jin returned. No, yes, Jin returned and trying to turn into a no, yes, he was to fight Ryu again. Okay, at the end of that episode, Jin was defeated, and Shadum but said he will make Jin his puppet. And a few months in the next episode, where Jin does escape, however, Shadamu he had everything planned ahead this time around, and well, Jin he became some kind of a monster that was attacking people. Of course, before that happened, he met up with Ryu, who was taking care of him due to his injuries. And first, he wasn't happy about it, but after realizing how sincere Ryu was being, he was finally grateful for his help, and made Ryu promise that if he ever starts, if he turns into a monster and attacks people, then Ryu must promise that he must kill him. And he pointed to Ryu where his weak spot is, for in case an event happens. And it did in the same episode. And well, Ryu made his promise and destroyed Jin and his monster form. And that was the end of Jin. And then a few episodes later, Kujaku returns, and yes, she well, there was an episode was thought that she found that secret pigment there, but it was a fake. But then another episode, she found a real one, or at least a Dairenja did, I think. However, there's something that also the same episode we learned so sort of what really happened between Kujaku and Gara, and it's because when both Gara and Kujaku were teenagers or maybe children, there was an avalanche, and Gara she saved Kujaku. However, it resulted in Gara having a scar on her face, and after seeing how unhappy Gara is about her scar, Kujaku left to train so she can find a way to repay her and to help heal her scar. However, Gara she thought that Kujaku abandoned her, which is why she joined the coma in the first place. And there was a fight between Kujaku and Gara, which resulted in Gara being blinded on both eyes. Now, the sacred Pikachu was finally found. It was a Dairenja, so Kujaku can use it. However, Goku just found out that even if Kujaku does use it, she will still get sick again because of the pollution. Then I think it was Tiger who suggested to put it in the air, and Goku said that even if he does that, well, humans will lose their immunity because of the ravages they receive through generations because of all the pollution. And Kujakishi will decide to use steady anyway, but only just one drop. Of course, it wasn't for her or for the humans, it was for Gara. And she put it there over Gara, and Gara, she was no longer blind, and the scar on her face is finally gone. And also, eventually, her final feather fell down, and well, Taiko, yes, was upset about it because you see, Taiko fell in love with Kujaku because of her beauty and her kindness, but because of her final, because of the pollution that resulted in her death, well, Taiko lost Kujaku forever, and her body disappeared, and that was it for her. Now, I'll let you get to the episode where about the Sun Podcast, the final competition. Two of them had individuals, with Kamikaze being a Shoshin Taiko to a motorcycle race. Of course, it turns out that Shadow rigged the race so they could be destroyed. So Taiko could be destroyed. However, when Kamikaze found out that Shadow Moon doesn't have any faith in him whatsoever, well, he decided to ruin the plan, and both he and his other fellow Goma rejects started to attack, and once again they were defeated. And it seems like they were destroyed this time around. But at the end of the episode, Shoji, he received a phone call, and turns out that they were so much rejects that they were not even welcome in hell, and were prepared to world only this time around. They're not going to go back to the Goma. Instead, do their own things and try not to cause any trouble for anybody. Yes, and that was the last time the Sun Podcast would cause trouble for the Goma. Well, on behalf of the Goma, that is. Let's see. Episodes later, there was Go. He was getting closer to becoming a Goma because his Danjobi was getting closer, and which means that they need to find his Okasa very soon. And Akumaru, he tried everything to keep the two apart for as long as he can, so Go can become a Goma. And then when Shadow he found that where Akuma was giving, you know, goes on captive, and Akuma was surprised that Shadow knew Gosu the whole time, and yes, also it turns out that Akumaru is also the son of Ghost Okasan, which makes both him and Taigo brothers. And you see, according to Goma law, when twins are born, the youngest must be killed, but Ghost and Agust Okasan, well, she didn't want any of her children to die, so she ran away with Go so they could live. But it was, well, anyway, his Goma side was trying to take over, but not completely. But it made him change into Dairenja, so he can fight against the Dairenja. And also, the Jinryu returned because the Goma they broke the ceasefire treaty. And then, oh yes, well, eventually, Go was brought to Okasan in time, and so she can perform a ceremony using her ring. And eventually, Go's Goma side was gone completely. Of course, there was an avalanche, and Okasan made Go promise to rejoin his friends. So he left, and Akumaru arrived to see her, and eventually the avalanche crushed both Akumura and Okasan. Oh, and I forgot to mention that it was revealed that Ghost Tanjobi is December 24th, Christmas Eve. And eventually, well, the monster of the episode was defeated, and Daijin Ryu left, meaning the ceasefire has started again. Only was only revealed that it was because of a deal that Gaku made with the Dairenja, and the deal was that since the Goma get their end of the bargain, Gaku must also keep his, and that is to disband the Dairenja. In later the episode, Rin saw what she thought was Okasan and her two sons, but turns out it was just another woman with her own two sons. But it made her think of what could have been if it weren't for the Goma. And so Rin brought a cake that says Merry Christmas, but also put on candles on it to celebrate Ghost Tanjobi. And that was the end of that episode. Now, in the next two episodes, I think it was 47, 48, well, Gaku, he decided to disband the Dairenja, and he started to attack his own pupils. And the Dairenja, wondering why this is all going on. And episode, but also another reason is that you see the reason Gaku had to disband the Dairenja is because he was also a Goma, but he didn't agree with the Goma attacking the Dairanger in the first place. And then there was this event that the Goma had that would determine the next Goma emperor who would succeed Goma Jugosei. And it was a battle between Shadamu and Gaku, and Gaku, he was defeated, and the Dairenja arrived, and well, Gaku apologized for what he did, and then and the next final two episodes, episode 49, well, since Shadamu won the battle, or the competition, he demanded to get the sacred eye that was used, that Komojukose has, but Komojukose said that yes, because he won the battle doesn't mean he's emperor yet, because he will only, because Komojukose will only be emperor for as long as he lives. But then Shazam Asubahita just retired already, which made, oh, I forgot to mention something else. In episode 48, Saidusu, he started to turn into dirt, literally, and the Dairenja wonder why this happened. Anyway, back in episode 49, well, Shadamu laughed at Komojukose, and turns out that he was a mud puppet that Shadamu created a long time ago. And then the Dairenja, they met up with Kagara. Oh, and also, during episode 49, well, the Dairenja, they met up with the spirits of those who had personal connections with. For Ryu was Jin. For Daigo, it was Kujaku. For Shoji, it was the Sanpaga. For Kazu, it was Kameo. And for Rin, it was Okasan. Yes. And Kujaku told of a great threat that's coming, a destroyer. And also, Kujaku revealed that the Kara was a mud puppet herself, and the real Kara is in heaven with her. And Kara, even if she is a mud puppet, she still has hatred. And then she died, and that was the end of Kara. And in episode 50, the Dairenja arrived at Goma Palace. Oh, and Shadowmoon got himself a new form. And yes, he like a rope. And the costume he wore, well, will be modified, years later for the costume of Master Orc and Power Rangers Wild Force. Yes, and see, also the Dairenja, they met up with the spirit of Gaku. Oh, I forgot to mention that in Power Rangers, Gaku, his counterpart will be Sordon, since he's a mentor. Anyway, the spirit of Gaku appeared before the Dairenja and told them that there's no need to fight because, well, of a balance. You see, both Shioyugu and Gyoryugu were one thing, but they became two, and the battle would go on for eternity, since that is the destiny of humans. And so the Dairangers, did also, it turns out that Shaitomu is also a mud puppet, and he was surprised of that. And well, there was no telling, who made them all in the first place. and also Dai Ryu came and started to attack the palace. And this time, he knows that it was the Goma who caused all the trouble, especially since they broke the ceasefire. And the Dairanger they escaped and died, and that was the end of the Goma. And now, with the threat finally over, the Dairanger decided to disband. And since they don't live too far away from each other, they could still see each other from time to time and compared to the online. Now, 50 years has gone by now, with the five main Dairenja being old people, senior citizens. And when Rain, who's an old woman now, she was asked about gold, and she said that gold is fine and it's in a board meeting. And then came a new Goma monster, and apparently the Goma monster was called the Tube Monster, that was used in the episode Something Real Fishy. You see, oh yeah, but before that happened, there was a reunion, and well, the five old Dairenja, they were surprised, but then came young people who looked like them when they were that age, and it turned out to be their grandchildren, and they henshined and formed Dairenja and defeated the new Goma monster. And that was the end of Gosei Sentai Dairanger. I probably left out some things, but I did the best I could to remember a lot of the important stuff. So, yes, now, what I think of this series? Yes, I think it was alright. Of course, at first it looked kind of weird to see a different group of heroes to a bit of thunder swords, because I was kind of used to from Power Rangers. But now, as for if it's a very to watch this series, well, I've been thinking about it, and I think it's under the parents. So, if you're a parent and you want to know whether to let your children watch or not, just watch the series yourself, and then you can make the decision. It's up to you. So, yes, I think that's all I can say about Gosei Sentai Dairanger in this video. And also, please subscribe to my channel because it will help me a lot. And also, please share this video on social media like Facebook, Twitter, or whatever. So, that's it, and I'll see you next time. Bye.